Good morning, everyone. Happy Supercharged Manifesting Monday. Welcome to the start of another amazing week. Time for some spiritual coffee. I'm going to be diving a little bit deep today. So get yourselves ready, strapped in for this conversation, intending that this will be an amazing and incredible week for all of you. All right, I'm going to jump over here and see the comments. Hang on, it went away. Okay. When you see me looking that way, it's because that's where I see all the comments of everyone watching live. So as you're coming in, you know how we do here on Mondays, we share love, we greet the day and greet each other and greet the week with all of the high energy that we have in this space every time we convene. So that's right, Shirley. Good morning. Happy Monday. Hey, Monica. Great morning, Money Family. That's right. Here they all are coming in. Okay. I am jumping right in because I am besides myself around this conversation. It's one of those things where a few weeks ago, everyone around me was having or contributing to this conversation in such a way that I knew one thing. Well, I knew I needed to talk about it here, but I also had to call myself out a little bit. And anytime I have to call myself out, I know that it's an opportunity for me to share what I'm processing, what I'm looking at with not only myself, but all of you. I always say life gives me content. Maybe I should stop saying that. But I always say life gives me content, and it certainly does. So this morning we're talking about financial avoidance, and is this something that you do? I'm going to wait for all of you to be here. Come on in. Happy morning. Mwah. Happy Monday to all of you. And I like, where should I start with this one? Okay, here's where I'm going to go. The number one reason, and let me put some context around this for you. I've been doing this work for 10 years in the container of serving others. I've been doing it for myself for way longer than that, right? But just in the 10 years that I've been doing it, and probably even why I started doing this work for myself personally is tied to this reason right here. The number one reason why most women want wealth. Tell me in the comments. Denise, you're not allowed to comment. Denise, you're not allowed to comment. Here's Denise. And shout out to Denise, who massively helped me call myself out around this conversation. Yes, Denise, I got to give you all the props because, like I said, I was having a conversation with Darian, actually, who does all of our social media ads. And then at the same time, Denise messaged me something. And then I had a conversation with Sarah, and it was just showing up everywhere. I was in a conversation with the beautiful Heather at the same time. And so whenever it starts showing up everywhere, I just know, all right, time to talk about it. Okay, great. So I see a lot of answers: freedom, security, right? I want you to really security, financial freedom. I want you to all, Ray and Denise, I see that you connected. I love that. Helping others, necessity. I see a lot of answers. I really want you to freedom. I really want you to tap into, what do you think is the number one reason why women want more wealth? It is going to shock you. It's going to shock you. Let me prepare you right now. All right. So great. I see everyone jumping in and commenting. Can I ask? Ooh, Valerie says escape. Can I ask you all? This is a request I haven't made in a long time. Can I ask you to tag people, other women in your life who you know would benefit from hearing this conversation? Can you tag them and say, this is really good. Watch this. Go ahead. I'm going to ask all of you, share it, tag it, especially when you share it. Sometimes I've noticed when people share it, for some reason, Facebook doesn't give it as much credit on your timeline. But if you tag people in the video, then they will come here and find it. Right. So I'm going to ask you, could you tag your friends and like Heather, thank you. I see that you tagged Eva, but I actually want you to say, watch this. I think this is really good, right? Because if you tag me on something, I'm like, oh, who is this random woman? So you like her? What is this, right? I don't know her. Why should I watch it? So you actually have to give a little context. So go ahead and tag. Thanks, Heather and Monica, for tagging so far. Thanks, Chantel. Go ahead and tag your friends and tell them, watch this. This is really good. Okay. Thank you. Those of you that are doing that already, all my love and appreciation for helping me spread this very powerful message today. The number one reason why most women, especially women who are in relationships, especially women who are in relationships, want more wealth. Remember, I told you it's going to shock you. Is to avoid uncomfortable, limiting, controlling conversations with others. I said it. Is to avoid limiting, controlling conversations with others. Yes, you say freedom, but what does that really mean? Yes, you say security, but what does that really mean? Especially in the container of, I have another person in my life where money and all things finances are involved, right? I don't want to talk about anything that's going to make me feel limited, controlled, like you want to hold this over my head. You want to tell me what I have to do and how much I don't want it. So why we crave wealth, the freedom that we're truly craving, is so that we can avoid that whole scenario right there. What will women say? I want to make so much money. I never have to have the awkward conversation at the dinner table with the books and the numbers with my husband ever again. I never want to have it, right? I never want to be telling my mom that I bought something and her being like, well, did you like, this is literally, love my mom, but my mom literally asked me, like, so you bought like this luxury Audi, right? My nice fancy like car of my dreams I got recently. And my mom my mom, this was a legit question. So did you need that? Why did you get that? Did you need that? And I immediately went into, well, did I need it? It is a lot of money every month, right? And what I want to say is, Mom, I have enough money. I can buy this and three of these. Like literally, that's the answer I really want to give. I know where she's coming from. Bless her. And she's looking out for me. And so is your spouse. And so are all the people that care about you. But the bottom line is we want to avoid those conversations. Am I right? Is there anybody in here that's willing to say it's the truth, Tasha? You're right. We don't want to be in that conversation. We want to avoid it at all costs. We don't want to argue. We don't want to justify. We don't want to defend our personal choices around money. And God forbid that I'm out here making my money. I'm out here doing my thing, creating my own money, and then I have to answer to somebody else. Don't love it. Don't love it. Is this the truth? Right? Or somebody saying you can't afford that. What are you doing, right, Barbara? What are you doing going first class to Abu Dhabi, flying business class? What are you doing staying at that place? Can you really afford that? Right? That part. Ray was like, that part. I love it. So Laura says that is not true for me. You go, Laura. More power to you. I love that there are women in here who are like, that's not true. But remember, I said most women. Here's the other part where I'm going to take you deeper. What I realized is how much I was projecting, avoiding this conversation externally. But the truth was, I was doing it with myself too. Financial avoidance around money and creating wealth. It wasn't just that I was avoiding the conversation, avoiding accountability, avoiding um, being responsible to someone else. I was also doing it with myself. I was practicing those same things. Didn't want to justify to myself, well, is this really, it's kind of like you're on a diet and then you go get a milkshake, right? And like the conversation is bouncing around in your head. I thought you said you weren't going to do this. Why are you doing this? Da-da-da. I don't want to do the tennis match in my mind with myself either. I don't want to do it either with myself. So I have this financial avoidance thing, not only going on externally, but also internally. Anybody else can say, yes, Tasha, I hear you. I do that. Like I try to avoid the conversation. And oh, Heather said this so beautifully. I'm going to put this up on screen because it's so beautiful. She says, that's why other people's opinions have power, because it's already in me. So I'm going to tell you, that's so powerful, Heather. Thank you for saying that. So I'm going to tell you, there was a time when I remember getting really upset with my ex-husband because he really wanted me to go get a job, right? And I was like, don't you understand? I want to be free. I don't want a 9 to 5. I'm an entrepreneur. That's not me. And it was like this. And I was like, he's trying to control me, doesn't support my dreams, all of it, right? And so every time I kind of saw him coming, I could literally see the calculator and the Excel spreadsheet in his mind. Like I literally could imagine he had it in his hand as he walked towards me. And I was like, oh, run for your life, Tasha. So I remember there was a point where I decided, instead of going to go get a job, I was going to start a business. And I shared it with my ex-husband. And my ex-husband is like he actually hated when I did this, but hopefully he's not watching. So he's Chinese, obviously, right? Tasha Chen. And like he can literally do formulas. Like he doesn't even need Excel. Like his brain can do super complex number formulas like that. Right. And so he's asking me about the financial model for this business. That is my dream business I'm going to start. And he's like, how are you going to make money? Right? How much money are you see yourself making from this business to contribute to our household? So already I'm feeling like, oh my God, I don't know, like I'm not sure. And like am I going to be able to like make a significant contribution? And I haven't thought about this. And I'm like totally like just like being diminished as he asked me. So I throw out a model to him that I have legitimately been thinking about. And literally, ladies and few gentlemen, in no time, he's like, well, based on those numbers, you're going to be making $2 an hour. You may as well just go join a charitable organization in town. Like, it's a waste of your time. This is my dream. This is like everything I want to do to create money and feel fulfilled and right, give contribution to the world. And in no time, he literally smashes it with the financial reality of you're not going to make any money. So I'm on the phone the next week with my mentor and literally screaming divorce, because I'm like, how can I be with somebody who doesn't want to, support me, who just squashes my dreams, And she says to me, my mentor, bless her, Nancy, if she's watching, says to me, Tasha, why you're getting so upset is because you know what he said is true. You know that you really haven't done the numbers. You really haven't figured out how this is going to make a significant amount of money to contribute. Like that is what you are responding to, right? And so I just want to pull this out in this conversation, because what I see, and I caught myself recently doing this, is that we don't love being held accountable for creating a set income. Some of us, like when Denise brought this conversation to me, she was like, some people, what they do is they avoid their bills, they avoid looking at their bank accounts, they avoid their credit, doing credit checks and looking at where they are with their credit scores. Like it's kind of, that's the easy way to look at financial avoidance. Like your bills are stacking up, you're not paying attention to it, you're just doing the minimum, you're not really actively trying to like be engaged in your finances. So you avoid it like a bad boyfriend, right? Like I'm just going to try to avoid him. That's what we're doing. But this is a bigger next level conversation that I want to have around wealth creation, is that when we are avoiding the conversations with the people in our life that love and support us, and we see it as an attack instead of support, and we do everything in our power to avoid the conversation with them and with ourselves, we make ourselves disempowered with our wealth. I'm going to make that land. We make ourselves disempowered with our wealth. And this is a trauma response. Why are you doing this? Why do I do it? My loving, wonderful, amazing husband came to me recently to talk about retirement and how much my retirement account should be at this point, and what are, what our goals are for my retirement being fully funded. And I, at first, was like resistant and avoidant. And I'm like, I'm just going to make money, and there's going to be enough money, and there's always going to be more than enough money. And like, yeah, but what I was doing was really avoiding sitting down and being like, and I, I'm powerful enough in creating that I can create without attachment. Like, it doesn't need to stress me out. And I know that, but even though I know that, I avoid the responsibility of saying, and this is the plan. This is at least the plan. Whether it works out like this or not, that's up to God, universe, source. But this is at least the plan. And that's all he's asking. So what is the plan? What do you have in mind? Right? And so when I saw myself doing that, I was like, whoa, I'm not going to be disempowered with my wealth creation. No one outside of me is going to cause me to do that. No one inside of me, like no one is like, I'm not going to do that to myself. And I had to really ask myself, why are you doing this, Tasha? And the reason was, it's a trauma response, because I grew up where I had some life circumstances that made me feel controlled by money, made me feel like it was love or money. So when my husband was wanting to talk to me about finances, and it's the person I love, I don't want to end up in an argument. I want us to be lovey-dovey and happy, right? So I want to avoid the thing that's going to cause us, in my mind, to fight, because my trauma says it's love or money. My trauma says you only want to talk to me about this because you want to control me. You want to limit me, right? You don't want to allow me to dream and expand, because that was like a real thing in my other marriage. That's the way I felt. Why I felt it could all be my fault, but that's how I felt. So now when those conversations come to me, it's my trauma responding, right? And what you have to understand is that this feeling of inadequacy with money is all from your past failures with it, and it's all trauma based. And why we avoid the conversation, why we avoid our finances, think about this. What do we know? We do two things. We avoid pain and we seek pleasure. So anything that you're avoiding is because it entails pain for you. I am really, I am really, I am really intending that this supports you all in just becoming aware. And some of you are like, I'm great with this. Like, me and my spouse are on the same page. It's amazing. I just want you to, maybe this morning's conversation is not for you. You're all set with this. But maybe you could just think about it a little bit more and go, what do I avoid? Where do I avoid things around money? Right? And again, we know that when you're in that, like, not wanting to make decisions, not wanting to do things for yourself, it's trauma based, or it's a lack of deservingness. Period. End of story. But if you're not willing to acknowledge that this is happening for you, then we're not going to be able to become empowered. Right? So I really want to just take another few minutes, and I want to turn this conversation around into seeking pleasure. So this is what I did with my husband. Love him, when he brought this up. And I recognized that I was resisting and I was trying to avoid the conversation from responding through my past traumas. And I was like, I'm trying to avoid pain here. So number one, you got to go heal these traumas, period. We talk about this a lot. Stay in our family, stay in our community. We do this, and we have lots of things coming up where we're going to show you and really work on healing your money traumas, right? Another great resource for you is I have a book on Amazon called Heal Your Money Story. Just go on Amazon, type Tasha Chen, Heal Your Money Story. Every single one of you, it's probably 100 pages. It really looks at how all the people that you love and are closest to you have impacted the story you tell with money, and how you respond, and why you avoid things because it involves pain, why you avoid things that are related to your finances. It's just going to be a massive eye opener for you. There are worksheets in it. It like really walks you step by step. I encourage every single person, especially women in relationships. A beautiful woman, Lori, just posted in one of our groups and said, when after reading the book, her whole life she thought her money story was made up primarily by her parents. And when she went through the process, she realized actually the biggest person that influenced her current money story today is her ex-husband, because of the way he manipulated and controlled her with finances. It's eye-opening. So that's a resource for you. Make sure every one of you go get that. Heal Your Money Story. Now, I am going to just let us turn this conversation real quick. So number one, you're going to have to do that work, period, end of story. I am able to catch myself in the conversations that I have when I'm either avoiding it with someone else or with myself. I'm able to catch myself and redirect, because I am able to see, oh, wow, this is trauma-based. So number two, find something that excites you to achieve financially, something that excites you. So when my husband comes to me with the retirement with the retirement account thing, I've actually flipped it into, I feel really excited to be able to say, look, babe, I did it. See, it's fully funded. And truth be told, like, honestly, if I strip deeper away, this is more about my husband feeling safe than me. But I feel really proud of myself to have been able to do that, to be able to know that he's good with it now. We can carry on. Like, I'm just being honest with you, but that excites me. That sense of like accomplishment. I became committed to this. I did it. Fills me up. It excites me. Just being able to say, I'm really great at money management. I'm really great at it. Look at this. Look at what I did. So I want you right now to just type in the comments, all of you, think in this moment about something. Think about the avoidance of your finances, and then think of something that's a total opposite that would excite you to just like always deal with it head on. It's like I told my son recently, you need to normalize fear. The second you realize you feel afraid of something, just deal with it. Just do it, right? So that you train yourself to go, oh, this is not a big deal. This is right. Oh, this, I feel that. Oh, just that's my trigger to go do it. So same thing here. Anything that you've been feeling like you do with financial avoidance, create something around it that like just activates this feeling of pleasure for you. The I did it sensation, the I'm wowed by myself. Like, see, what is that? And so I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to jump in the comments because I want to see you all typing. What are some of the things that make you feel, you know what? I love it. Ray is like, expressing gratitude. I'm excited to have options. Ooh, Courtney, I love that. The feeling of having options excites me. The feeling knowing I can take a 5-star vacation excites me. Great, Nancy. The feeling of knowing, wow, I literally have way more money than I need in my bank account at any given moment excites the heck out of me. I love choices too. I love the feeling of choices. I want you all to type in the comments, what are some of the things that choices in everything, doing what I want whenever, like that, the ability to do that. I'm excited to plan my vacation. What is the opposite? What would make you end the financial avoidance and step into feeling capable? Kayla says, I love that. Becoming debt-free excites me. I love that. So Tracy, you're probably new to our family. We actually, what we say, we don't really embrace the word debt. We use outstanding balances. So the idea of 0 outstanding balances excites me, right? Barbara says, excited to have a ton of money left over in my accounts after all monthly bills are paid. Curtis says, I get to decide with no limits. Ooh, such great answers. Overcoming my fears, Paulette says. Oh, I'm safe to feel financially safe. I love that. Every single one of you, I need you to identify what is a thing that makes you feel pleasure, makes you feel excited, so that you will stop the financial avoidance and really step into whatever needs to be done, addressed, the actions that need to be taken. Mm. I love that I get surprised at how much more I have than I thought. I love that, Lori. Shirley says zero balances. Yes, 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 yes. The idea of traveling a lot without money worries excites me. Brianna, you're my girl. Like, that was me. One of the things that I set as my first financial measurable, like, success thing in my life was that I could travel for 8 weeks and not have to worry about money. Now, that meant I needed to tend to some money things in my life so that that could be a reality. Like, I couldn't just avoid ensuring that there was money in my bank account. I couldn't avoid that all my bills were set on auto pay while I traveled for 8 weeks, right? I couldn't avoid those things that I was responsible for. I had to tend to them. But I got excited to sit down and map out all of my bills being paid, knowing for 8 weeks I wasn't going to have to worry about it. That excited the heck out of me. I would make as whatever number you tell me I need to create and manifest, I will do so I can have my 8 weeks of vacation, right? And not have to worry about money. That's what I realized. I have to tip into what excites me. I have to come out of pain that causes the financial avoidance thing and step into pleasure. So with that, I'm going to ask all of you here. We are ramping up I would say the next 5 to 6 weeks. I have so much incredible content lined up for you. Obviously, we have our Creating the Wealthy You Masterclass, February 8th. Those of you that are registered, let me tell you, the downloads I have been getting are crazy. I did this with my one-on-one client this past week. Actually, we did the actual workshop together, and I'm just like besides myself excited to take you all through it. So I want you to those of you that are registered, start to get really excited. We're going to create the wealthy you. And then everyone else, we have got so much coming up over the next 5 to 6 weeks. I want you all typing the word reminder, because we're going back to making sure you get your notifications every time I'm going live, right? So type the word reminder, type it, type it, type it. Check Facebook Messenger. You're going to get a prompt to say, do you want to be reminded when Tasha goes live? Click yes and carry on your merry way. And every time over the next couple of weeks, you're going to get notified when I'm going live. All right. And you want to be here for all of it, because let me tell you, if you thought this was good, it's just going to build and build and build and build. It's going to get even better. All right. So happy Monday. Mwah. I love all of you. Type reminder, check Facebook Messenger, click, because that's what you need to do. So many people are like, I typed it and I never got anything. You need to check Facebook Messenger and then click the link that's there from me to get signed up for the reminders. All right. I love you all. Have a wonderful Monday. Mwah. Bye. And a great rest of the week.